Hey everybody, welcome back to our episode FSI DFS Fantasy NFL Picks. I'm Mr. Meguro 31. Apologize, I had a main video. I just built my car and I recorded it, but the internet wasn't working. It wouldn't upload, so I apologize. So I had a double Monday night football game coming up Monday night. So I really like the first one, not just because I'm a Ravens fan, just because I think it's going to be a good matchup. The second one is going to be super close too, but we'll see how that one plays out. So looking at the first one, I think you really want Lamar to be your captain. I'm okay. We had success with wide receivers. Some other options as captain is you go Henry there, you go Flowers there. But then I think Baker and Godwin is where you want to go after that. If you're feeling more of a Tampa Bay, being at home, Ravens looked not great the first 3 weeks of the season, but then they started to put things together. So if you think they're going to fall back to that and have another down game, then if you can put Godwin in the captain spot, and then play Baker, Mayfield, and Lamar there. So cash fill-ins like Flowers, like it's pretty expensive course, so I don't know if you can get in there. I'm just fine with the kickers, McLaughlin or Tucker, and then Otten as tight end makes a really cheap option for you there. Also, for GPP, I'm going to go Henry in the Baltimore D and run it back with Evans, who I like, but I think he's more of Godwin's more of the possession receiver, seems to get more like volume targets. Evans more the deep threat guy, even though Godwin can break them. So I'm looking at Evans if this game is going to be controlled by Baltimore. But with this one, I'm okay if you want to go McLaughlin there as the run back and the sole player, and then Henry, Baltimore D, Lamar, Flowers, or whoever you want to pair with him. And then just load up on Ravens as they're going to dominate, and then Henry's just going to pound the ball and run out the clock, and Baltimore D is going to dominate, and then whatever Tampa Bay piece goes there. But I think White, the running back, should be in and healthy, but that's going to turn into a mud puddle because Bucky Irving has been coming on. Sean Tucker, if you watched my video 2 weeks ago, I talked about him. He was in the millionaire lineup. I'm not saying that the person that won the millionaire watched my video by any means, but I'm a Syracuse fan. I know he went to Syracuse. He was an explosive back. He was a Heisman Trophy um, candidate, and he got injured a couple of times, and he set the Syracuse record for rushing with a school that had Jim Davis and or Ernie Davis and Jim Brown and Floyd Little and Dale Johnson and a lot of Robert Drummond had a lot of good running backs there, and he was able to set the school record for that. So those have talent. Just the only downside is he wasn't pass blocking. Before Irving was in this situation, he was challenging White last year back and forth for playing time. So I don't know how this is going to play out here. White should be back. He should be the number one. Irving should be the next up and coming one, but then you still have Tucker looming. So I think they're all GPP plays, and then Bateman and Hill as a change of back for Lamar. I think he'd be good in this build too because if Henry's like early and often, and then like Hill might come in for a garbage time or he always catches balls out of the backfield. So I think in the GPP build, I really like Hill as like maybe one of the fourth options there. But again, it all depends on how you want to build the storyline. Contrarian options, give me Otten and Baker, and then run it back with Likely or Andrews, whatever tight end you think might have the hot hand. And they're pretty cheap. Aguilar is pretty cheap there also. Tampa Bay defense and Shepard. So there are some other fringe plays. I don't think I really want any of them. Let's see if I can just pull that up quickly and see who else is out there. Ricard, the fullback, sometimes gets carries. I mean, you have Wallace and Walker potentially as wide receivers for Ravens, not interested. Pollar's caught a couple touchdowns, but I mean, there's just no predicting that. And then like Palmer and McMillan are there on the Tampa Bay side, but I don't know. Both defenses are very strong against the run, so maybe some of these fringe wide receivers step up. Uh, but I don't really O'Keefe and Keft and Devin Coop, the backup tight ends for Tampa, and I'm really interested. I think Otten's just the guy there. So I wouldn't really go chasing those darts when you have like some like Andrews and Likely are darts in themselves, cheap enough, and like even Sterling Shepard should be Aguilar. They're Bateman, like the wide receivers 2 and 3 on both teams, and uh, definitely passing situation for because of the strength that they both defenses have against the run. I think you can definitely make some decent lineups with them involved. So the next game, a little bit lower in total, but a little bit closer of a spread. There's Chargers and that are in Los Angeles, not San Diego, so try to get that through my head. And Arizona Cardinals, which are not in St. Louis, but I'm not still trying to get them ahead. It's been a while since they moved. Um, so with this one, I just don't know how to play it. I thought about this and I really hesitated because the Chargers defense has been phenomenal recently. They have only given up, they're giving up like 210 yards per game passing, which is ninth right now. They're number one, I believe, in and maybe they're third in rushing defense, yards per play. Just not giving up much there either. Total yards are really good. They're number one in scoring defense. So this defense, and I don't know if it's just because the offense has been on the field a lot of time and burning up clock and really doing nothing, and that keeps the defense fresh. But they have been solid. So and Arizona has looks like they've taken a step back. I know McBride was out early in the season, and then Murray is definitely an explosive player, but coming back from a knee injury and has been okay, but just not what he was before the injury. I mean, we see glimpses of it every so often, but I think you can put McBride and Murray as your captains. I think being at home and uh, getting some chemistry there. They should be okay. And I'd run it back with Herbert. Um, If you, I can see some if you wanted to go more heavy with San Diego and put like Dobbins there with Herbert, just because like pairing him with a pass catcher is hard because you just don't know where the ball's going. I think like if you want to do McConkey, that makes sense, but it's more of a GPP play for me than playing them in cash. He seems to be the leading wide receiver over Palmer. But again, that's GPP because there's really I don't feel there's the floor there. So McBride, I think he's got a solid role in the offense. Murray, yes. Herbert, yes. So if you want to play Dobbins in there over McBride and play with Murray and Herbert, I get that too. Fill-ins, Connor, if you can afford it. I don't think this core is super expensive. McBride's only like five